Welcome back to Chronicles on the Focus, where we dive deep into the fascinating stories of history and culture. I'm your host, Bob.
And I'm Alice, ready to unravel the mysteries of the past, one chapter at a time.
Today, we're venturing into the dark heart of one of the most devastating events in human history, the Black Death. Now, Alice, this wasn't just some nasty flu going around, right?
Oh, no, Bob, it was a pandemic that ravaged Europe for years, and the world, really, for centuries. It's estimated that around 50 million people died, which is about half of Europe's population back then. Can you imagine? It's chilling to think about.
Chilling indeed. And what's more chilling is that the origin of the Black Death isn't entirely clear. Like, where did it come from? This plague of buboes and death.
That's what makes it so fascinating, isn't it? There's a lot of speculation, but the leading theory points to Central Asia, where the bacterium Yersinia pestis was probably already lurking in rodents. The theory is that this plague, carried by fleas, hopped aboard ships in the Black Sea, spreading through trade routes to Europe and beyond. And you know what? It wasn't just a bubonic plague, it could also spread through the air, making it even more deadly and terrifying.
Whoa, talk about a supervillain. I'm picturing those poor people, with buboes the size of golf balls, and no antibiotics. Just utter terror and despair.
It's a stark reminder of how vulnerable humanity is to disease. The Black Death had massive impacts on society, changing everything from population dynamics to religion, and it even inspired some pretty wild conspiracy theories. Like, you wouldn't believe the crazy things people were saying about the alignment of the stars and God's punishment.
Wow, I guess the Black Death was a real game changer. A cultural reset button, if you will. And you know what's even more interesting? The name itself, Black Death, wasn't even used during that time period. It was something that popped up later, in the 18th century.
Right. They used pestilence, or Great Pestilence, back then. It's kind of fascinating that a name like Black Death became so iconic. It's almost like a brand name for a disease.
I guess you could say it's a bit of a dark legacy, but one that serves as a reminder of the fragility of life and the power of disease. It's a story we should all be aware of, both for its historical significance and for the lessons it teaches us about resilience and our connection to the natural world.
Well said, Bob. And that, folks, is a brief glimpse into the dark heart of the Black Death. It's a story that deserves more attention, more study, more reflection. If you want to learn more about it, be sure to check out the links in our show notes.
And don't forget to join us next week for another exciting journey into the Chronicles of the Focus.
Until then, stay curious and keep exploring.